I believe that we do not talk enough about sex in long-term relationships. I also believe that when we do actually talk about sex, we do not have powerful, uplifting, resentment-dispelling, intimacy-strengthening conversations. Sex talk is a high-risk, high-reward territory I wish more and more couples explored. Like many, I guess your first sex talk did not go as planned. I'll show you mine if you show me yours. Welcome to The Vibrant Couple. My name is Valdo Lallemand. I'm a relationship coach. My purpose is to liberate love through connection and playfulness. Before we dive into the 5 reasons I believe couples do not talk enough about sex, I would love to interview a few random strangers to ask for their opinion. So I set up my camera and my tripod on Hollywood Boulevard and was very curious about who would be showing up. Interesting, Queen Elizabeth. Her Majesty, what do you think about couples talking about sex? Her answer was very interesting. One does not talk about such things. Next person was also a British citizen, so I was somehow curious of his answer. Cut! Next came Jordan Peterson. I asked him with anticipation, Mr. Peterson, what do you think about couples talking about sex? Many of the couples I talk to want to keep their sex life spontaneous. I asked them, how is that working for you? You cannot improve what you do not talk about. Bolster your courage and talk about sex with your partner. Be willing to fail miserably 20, 50, even 100 times, as many times as it takes to change the narrative. Empowered by his words, I was wishing that the next stranger could somehow highlight me about spontaneity. Oh, Tom Hanks and, yes, Robin Williams. Robin Williams told Tom Hanks, I want to let you in on a little secret. There is a lot of planning behind my spontaneous playfulness. That definitely addressed the spontaneous part, but how about courage? Didn't Jordan Peterson mention courage? Oh, Gwyneth Paltrow and Brené Brown. Hi, Gwyneth. I love your show on Netflix, Sex, Love and Goop. Thank you for being willing to expose yourself to do that show. Brené, what do you think about the need for couples to have sex talks? Talking about sex is one of the most shame-laden situations. And it is an underrated opportunity to show up vulnerably and with courage to improve your couple. His Holiness, what do you think about talking about sex as a couple? There is a lot of sexual trauma and conditioning in this world. Practice loving kindness and compassion for yourself and your partner. Okay, so far I got that we need to talk about sex. We need to do so somehow without boy humor. We need to do that with courage and vulnerability. I don't know who he is, but that is Oprah. Oprah, I'm interviewing a few random strangers about the importance of talking about sex as a couple. What do you think? But why is it so difficult to talk about sex? I agree, Oprah. So, what are the 5 reasons couples do not talk enough about sex in a way that is uplifting and intimacy strengthening? First, there is very little support on how to talk about sex effectively. Actually, what most of us been taught about sex and talking about sex is wrong. Most of the conversations are comparative or competitive and consequently fuel our shame, making our desires and our bodies wrong and inadequate. In absence of good sex ed, porn becomes the primary source of education for too many and at younger and younger ages. Second, many hold very strongly the belief that sex should be spontaneous. Just imagine if you and your partner did not talk about where you want to go on your next exciting vacation and you went to the same place year after year after year. As a result, most couple sex lives dwindles over time. Third, it is strangely easier to have sex than to talk about sex. We have bodies that are not as flexible as we wish. We have odors that sometimes are pleasant and sometimes not. We have emotions that are sometimes uplifting and sometimes bring us down. We have conditioning that includes a lot of taboo and gets particularly activated during sex conversations. As a result, many of us keep having the same sex in order to avoid the embarrassment of having to talk about it. 4. Although men and women both wish to feel desired sexually, men and women approach the conversation very differently. Men, under the influence of shame, want to confirm they are good in bed. And women, under the influence of fear, want to confirm they are loved. 5. For many couples, sex talks are minefield. On the extreme, some couples have a lot of trauma and sexual trauma, and whatever is about sex is going to trigger them. Many couples do not fall into that extreme. However, too many have the experience that, we tried and it didn't work. Most important is to rip the band-aid and get started. Decide as a couple that sex talks are mission critical. Have a conversation about the importance of sex in your relationship and decide that you want to do something about it. Second is to start with moderate and positive expectations. For example, you may, maybe after a drink or two, say, "Hey darling, I would love to have a short conversation about one thing that each of us would love to experience in bed together." So that was for the moderate part. For the positive, just see the difference between, "Hey darling, you have bad breath," compared to, "Hey darling, how about Sunday mornings, we wake up, we go brush our teeth, and we explore each other like we used to." And 3, learn to create specific sex talk times and places. In bed, it is wonderful to learn to express one's appreciation in real time. However, debriefing sex to learn to improve it, especially when there is a request you have to make of your partner of something that is not working for you, must happen outside of bed. It is really good to have some sex talks side by side. For example, walking in a beautiful park or in a beautiful forest, holding hands together and looking together at the future, envisioning what your sex life could be. And so we're clear about spontaneity. Scheduling something gives it value. And last but not least, thank each other and appreciate each other for having shown the courage and the vulnerability of showing up for a sex talk. If this video inspired you to liberate more love in your couple or to find a partner with whom you'll be able to have better sex talks and of course a better sex life, please hit the like button below and subscribe so you can be notified when I publish new juicy content. And please share with all you believe would benefit. I look forward to seeing you very soon.